Hello children, it's Mrs. Lee here. It's assembly number 3 and it's the week beginning the 18th of November 2024. How are you? I hope that you are okay. Me, thank you for asking, I'm okay too. Come, let's do our routine. What's the time, Mr. Wolf? Well, I can see that the long hand, and that is the minute hand, and it's our yellow pencil, is nearly on the number 6. And I know that means, that's right, it's half past. But half past what? Well, you look to the hour hand, which is the green pencil, and it's in between the 3 and the 4. So we always go to the number that we said at the start, which was 3. So it's 3:30. It was 3 o'clock, it's now half an hour gone by, it's 3:30. What else have we got on our routine board? Well, we have the language of the month because we're still in November and we're learning to speak in Shona and we're learning to say mohoro. Mohoro means hello in Shona, mohoro. Can you say that to the person next to you? Mohoro. What else can I say? Makaton sign. Makaton sign has changed because it changes every week. It's one we've had before. It's really important. It says to choose, to choose. And you've got 2 actions. You've got to start here with your finger and your thumb and you've got to bring it out. Choose, as if you're taking something. Choose. Can you sign choose? Keep practicing. Super. To choose, to choose. I wonder why Mrs. Lee wants us to think about choosing. Well, can you see this poster above us? We've got our British values. This poster is around our school. This week we're thinking about democracy. It's on here. This week we're thinking about democracy. Now, we thought about it a little bit last week, and I know that we have shared with your grown-ups about writing a manifesto, and I'm sure some of you already know what that word means. Can you whisper to the person next to you? Yeah, that's right. It's when you write yourself something that you maybe can read out to everybody that talks about what you are about. Maybe it's about how you are ready now to take responsibility. This is a really lovely book that I'm going to leave out here that when you come into the hall to eat your lunch, you can have a look at. It's all about responsibility. It's about the things that you need to do now that you are at school. Probably get your shoes on, do your coat up on your own. Maybe you're starting to make sure your bedroom is tidy. There's so many bits and pieces in this book, all about taking responsibility. Maybe you take the dog for a walk. Maybe you have to look after your brother and sister sometimes. Maybe you need to tidy up your bedroom, like I said. All sorts of different things. Maybe you're doing jobs in school to help people. Maybe you're sharpening the pencils. Maybe you're putting the books back in the research centre. All these things mean that you are responsible, and maybe you are ready to be a school counsellor. How many of you have been thinking about being one of our school counsellors? Well, we've got 6 up for grabs. Is that right? 2 in class 1, 2 in class 2, 2 in class 3, 2 in class 4, 2 in class 5. Mrs. Lee can't do her maths, can she? There are 12 school counsellors that we would like by the end of this week. So you need to read out your manifesto to tell us how responsible you are. Now, you might be thinking, well, what does that mean? We all read them out and then that means I can be the school counsellor. Afraid not, my lovelies. We need to vote for you, and that's part of being a part of a democracy. Now, this book is a really good book. It's called The Class Vote, and it's about something that you might have done before at home. It might be something you've done in school. I'm going to read it to you now. Okay. This is a story about Roshan. Roshan really wanted a pet. It was all he ever talked about. And then something amazing happened. His school, in his class, got a pet hamster. The new hamster was fluffy and full of fun, and he liked to stuff his cheeks with food. Roshan laughed when the hamster ran around in his ball. He was always crashing into things. What shall we call our hamster? Asked Miss Lovett, Roshan's teacher. Roshan's hand shot up straight away. He had an idea. What about Buster, he said. Roshan's best friend, Mia, put her hand up too. I like the name Fluffball, she said. Oh, what do you think is going to happen, children? Two different ideas. We can't call him both names, can we? Roshan frowned. Buster's a better name than Fluffball, he said. Mia didn't agree, and the two friends began to, that's right, they began to argue. Miss Lovett told them to stop. Let's have an election to decide which name to pick, she said. And she wrote the two hamsters' names on the board, Buster and Fluffball. It's a lovely word there, election. And that's what we're going to be doing this week. We're going to be having an election to find out who those school counsellors are going to be in your class, because we can't have 6 from each class. We can only have, who can remember? That's right, we can only have 2 from each class. Miss Lovett pointed to one of the names. Put your hand up if you like this name best, she told the class. Roshan didn't like this idea at all. Everyone will vote the same way as their friends, not for the name they really like, he said. Roshan's got a really, really good idea there, hasn't he? Because sometimes we might want to do what our friends think, and we don't have to do what our friends think. It should always come from our inside, what we want to do. Miss Lovett thought for a moment, as all teachers do. Perhaps you're right, Roshan, she said. Our election needs to be fair. And she put a box on her desk. Now, children, this week you might see some boxes coming around school with a bit of a slit inside them, a gap. All right? These are going to help us with our election. Then she told the children to write their favourite name on the piece of paper. Don't let anybody see what you've written. Now, this is really, really key, children. All right? We don't need to share our votes. It's personal to us. You don't have to share. And if anybody asks you, you do not have to tell them. You see all the children writing the name or the animal name that they want. The children lined up to put their secret votes in the box. So it's a very private thing, children voting. Roshan and Mia were at the front of the queue. They were both sure their own choice of name would win. Oh, they're thinking about they're going to win. But only one of them was. Okay, so you've got to remember that. And it's a bit tricky, that one, because not everybody's going to like the same as everybody else. But some people are going to like Buster, and some people are going to like Fluffball. What one do you think will win? Shall we find out? When everyone in the class had voted, and that's really important too, everybody in our school has a right to vote. We can't stop anybody. The only people that won't is the teachers, all right, because it's your vote. When everyone in the class had voted, Miss Lovett took the names out of the box. Can you see them? This is something Mrs. Rankin will probably do, because she usually does it for us on a Thursday. She sorted the names into 2 piles, one that had all the Busters, one that had all the Fluffballs. She sorted the names into 2 piles and counted them up to find out which name had the most votes. And that, again, is really important, the most votes. The result was very close. Oh, drum roll, children. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Oh, Miss Lovett stood up to announce the result. And the winner is Fluffball, she said, and everybody cheered. When they were celebrating. Everyone, that is, except Roshan. Oh dear, look at Roshan's face. He's gone to sit in the book corner. Roshan was sulking in the book corner. Elections are rubbish, he grumbled. He still liked the name Buster, and he didn't want to call the hamster anything else. Ooh. Now this happens. Sometimes we don't get our own way. Sometimes the vote won't go in our favour. You might not be chosen to be the school counsellor. Maybe it's because your friends don't think you're responsible enough. Maybe you haven't been tidying up after yourself. Maybe you haven't been following those 7 golden rules. It's not just about being pretty, not just about being the most popular person, not about being the person with the best games. It's about being that person who is, that word again, responsible, showing us that you follow those 7 golden rules to keep everybody happy and safe. Oh, Miss Lovett went over to see Roshan and quietly spoke to him. That was a fair vote, she said. Everybody had a go. And so you must accept the result, whether you like it or not. Then she had an idea. Fluffball can stay with you, Roshan, tonight, she said. You'll be the first in the class to take him home. Roshan began to smile again. Let's go home, Fluffball, said Roshan. And Fluffball looked at him and winked. Oh, Roshan's already started calling Fluffball, Fluffball. That's good, isn't it? There you go. In this book, it also asks you to retell the story. We're not going to do that now. You might want to come and look at this book and this book when you come in for lunch to eat your dinner. Remember, we must look after the books, children. That's showing responsibility. Now, if you want to be a school counsellor, then I am wishing you loads and loads of luck. I hope that you can share your manifesto this week to explain why you are responsible and you should be a good school counsellor. Maybe it's because you're really good at using your good listening ears. Maybe you're really good at using your good-looking eyes. You have kind hands, kind feet, and kind words. And that you follow those 7 golden rules to keep everybody, that's right, happy and safe. Right then, children. So, have I got anything else to share with you? Well, I'm really, really hoping that you are going to start bringing in things for Elfridges. Now, I know that in reception you might not know what Elfridges is. Now, Elfridges is a shop that we have in our school, and the lovely Mrs. Whittam is going to be creating a beautiful shop for Christmas where we can buy things for people that we love at home. Now, we need to get some bits and pieces in. So have a little think about what you would like to buy for somebody you love at home. Maybe it's a pair of socks. Maybe it's a tie. Maybe it's something to make them smell really nice. I don't know. But I bet there are things in your house that your grown-up doesn't want anymore. And you could bring them into school. A little bit like Harvest Festival that we did. Do you remember? Can you remember Harvest Festival? That's right. We brought in foods that we weren't going to eat and we gave them to other people. Well, this is a little bit like that. But we're going to bring in lots of different things. So I've brought a carrier bag in today, and inside my carrier bag is a book that I've never read, but I think somebody else might like to read it. I brought in some smelly bath salts, so you can put in your bath to make you smell nice. And I brought in a pair of socks that I've never ever worn before. They've still got the tags on them. So I brought in 3 gifts that I don't want anymore, but I know somebody else might want those gifts. So, can you start bringing in some gifts for us? Do you think you could ask your grown-ups? I think you could. Right now. We're going to finish off now with our school prayer. All right? Listen to the words really carefully because they are really important and they keep everybody happy and safe, don't they? All right. Help me to do the things I should, to be to others kind and good. In all my work and all my play, to grow more loving every day. Amen. Right, I'm looking forward to seeing you around school. I'm looking forward to finding out who can remember how many school counsellors we could have. Mrs. Lee thought there were 6. That's right, we've got 12. I'm looking forward to meeting the 12 new school counsellors. I'm looking forward to seeing children keeping those golden rules, and I'm especially looking forward to my office being full of Elfridges goods, presents for your grown-ups, presents for people that you would love to buy. Right, have a lovely, lovely week, children. Take care.